Be shy. We got seats in the front. No worries. All right. All right. Welcome everyone to our April meeting. My name is Marco Cuevas. I am the chair of the WCC. If anyone needs interpretation, we have our interpreter in the back ready to go. Mike's falling apart over here. All right, Vice Chair Figueroa doesn't appear to be in the room at this moment, so I'll go ahead and do his part really quick. Basically, if you aren't a member of the WCC, we welcome you to join as a member. We have a recommended donation of $35, helps us keep going for things like Zoom, all the other things like renting Bell Arts here, which, by the way, it's First Friday this Friday, so you can see some arts already being put around the wall, so come by. And we have an artist in the house here. She'll go over one of the presentations later. But yeah, if you believe in our mission, please join the WCC as a member and tell your friends, tell your neighbors, and yeah. First up, we have our standing reports. Commander Hurd couldn't make it tonight, but we have Jaime Uribe, I believe, yes, is gonna go over our patrol watch.
There is the map handout in the back. I'm sorry, Officer Uribe, you are a BE, and it's hard to pronounce. URIB works, Irby works, everything works. I'll figure it out. We do have the map, the maps in a few maps in the back. If we need more, I'll gladly bring some extra. As you can see, I'll just go over some of them. We've had 16 assault offenses, 3 burglary, break-in, 6 vandalisms, destructions, narcotic offenses, we had 22, extortion, blackmail, 1, fraud offenses, 2, larceny offenses, 14, motor vehicle thefts, 2, robberies, 2, stolen property offenses, 1, and weapon violations, 3. If you look at our downtown area for most of our assault offenses, I briefly was able to look at some of those calls, and they're all mainly related to our bars and the night clubs at in our downtown district area. Those outside of that general area, for the most part, are not random acts. They're, either people that know each other, or family members, or along those lines. Other than that, I didn't see anything too concerning with those. Does anyone have any questions on those? On some of those. Sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
Hello, sir. Thanks for being here. I'm Lori. Woo! So can you refresh on the RV parking and the RV and van parking
Okay, so
laws?
we did have a change on our on municipal code, and now we call it oversized parking. So it's oversized parking. I don't have the specifics on what specifically, is a oversized vehicle, but it now changed from 6 to 6. From 6 in the morning to 6 p.m. Can be parked in our public roadways. They cannot be parked. No. Yes.
About public camping. Public camping.
Okay, so public camping, and when we're talking about public lands, we're restricted on what we could enforce. There's things, obviously, if they're blocking the sidewalk, if they're blocking an area that needs to be used, or stuff like that. Otherwise, we are also limited by the law on how we could enforce on public lands, because it's open to the public. It's for public use. So there is restrictions. It's not a free for all, but there is restrictions.
I mean, just people camping in the parks openly.
Our parks are closed after hours, including the promenade. The promenade's a little different. It has a different different times of closure. I believe the promenade is 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Our parks is in after hours, in the dark, in other words. Once it's dark, you can't, for safety reasons, you can't be in our parks.
Okay. And then lastly, related to that, is there space in our shelters?
I
Do
don't
we
have
know?
that
Okay.
information. Sorry.
Thank you so much.
Any other questions? No, handouts in the back. If we need more, I'll gladly bring some more. And apparently they're all gone, so I'm gonna bring some more.
Thank you very much. All right, next up, we have our City of Ventura updates, Councilmember Campos, as well as from the City of Ventura, Alejandra.
Thank you, Chair Cueva. I've been looking over the agenda for next Tuesday's council meeting, and there are several items on it that aren't really of huge consequence to this neighborhood this week. But I encourage you all to download the agenda from the City of Ventura and read through it and identify anything that you want to talk to us about, because this meeting is the first council meeting of the month. Public comments are at the beginning. And so it's a good opportunity for you to come. If you're going to speak on an agenda item, you can sign up for that item as we go through them. But if there are issues that you want to bring to us that are pressing, like the camping I heard you ask Officer Uribe about, and I know I'm also aware, because I see in the late evening sometimes the belongings of some of the unsheltered people in Kellogg Park waiting for dark. And I know they're not supposed to be there, and I think our officers sometimes don't see them because they hide in the bushes to sleep. Kellogg Park is hard for them because it doesn't have sprinklers. But you can always take photographs and send them to the police or send them to me, send them to Commander Hurd, and something will be done. It's very important to identify who it is, because the homeless population has increased greatly this past few months. So that's one thing you could bring to council, for example. And anything you want to talk about. Traffic's too heavy. Yeah. Dogs running loose. It doesn't really happen much in Ventura, but come and talk to us. And we have a lot going on event-wise and projects and surveys. And I'm going to ask Alejandra to tell you about all of those things. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. My name is Alejandra BELACÁZAR, and I work for the communications department for the city of Ventura. My role is to come here to every meeting and let you know about key programs that are happening right now. We typically come and let you know, like, hey, we have the Ventura Rail coming. The project starts next week. We have some improvements and then information where you can find more details. So that's something I wanted to let you know. And also I want to use this time to let everybody know if there's something specifically that you'd like us to bring you updates on, you can let Marco know. And he's really good at doing or sending us an email and letting us know, hey, can you send us your PowerPoint? And you can also let us know if you want us to bring additional information about something else. So one specific program that I really wanted to ask your help to maybe disseminate information is for the Homeless Prevention and Diversion Program. This is a program from our housing division, and they are giving up to $4,000 in rental assistance to folks. We've been doing outreach in the community. We've been putting it in different community councils, and we're still looking for folks to apply to this. There's specific criteria to be able to go into this program. And I have the housing services website here. So if you know of anybody that needs this type of assistance, send them over to this website and they can call and get a person that can walk them through all the criteria. It's called the Homeless Prevention and Diversion Program. $4,000. Yeah, and then you have all additional details and criteria to be able to get approved for this program. So if you can help us disseminate that in your community and folks that you may know, that'll be great. And we have a pier update. As you guys know, the pier is going through some repairs, and we anticipate this is going to be open summer of this year. Woo woo, there's a lot of work that has gone on. It's gone through a lot of storm systems and swells. And again, this is one of the oldest piers in California, so we're pretty lucky to have it. Our Parks and Rec Summer Activity Guide is available now. This is where you can view all your camps, your classes, any events, and registration begins April 9th. So I also have the link here for you guys. I personally have signed up to a bunch of classes. I've gone to Aikido, there's pottery classes, there's all sorts of things. So they're really fun. And then I just wanted to bring up that the Idea Center here on the Avenue just became a green business. And that is really amazing. Yes, if you see them, give them a high five. There's specific criteria that you have to voluntarily implement for your business. So this is great. And if you know any other businesses that would like to become a green business, we also have help and additional information that we can help you give to a business that you're like, hey, you should become a green business. We've got you. And then lastly here, we have a Ventura Vibes community newsletter. This is another way that you can keep abreast of everything that's going on in the city. So you can sign up for the newsletter. We have all the information about key programs and events that are happening in that month. It comes out every other week. And yes, that is it for me. Cool. Any questions?
Okay, thank you. This is just kind of an over-the-top idea, and with Liz too, might have some ideas, or the officer, but around the homeless issue, because this is a seed planting place where ideas can maybe begin. And for example, everybody's got a story, right? And everybody needs different levels of help. And we have a guy who a lot of our neighbors know, who's sweet as can be, who rides around with all these bags. And he'll be over in the Brock Lanier Park during the day with all his bags, never leaves a single titch of litter. And, you know, if I see him, I'll talk to him, or I'll get him a burrito or something. And other people in the neighborhood are like that, helping him. But like, I wonder if we could do anything, or if there's anything like this as far as adopt someone in the community circle around them and get them to the right services. Just throwing it out, because a lot of players with a lot of knowledge are in this room right now. So I just wanted to toss that. If anybody has any idea, I'm just throwing that.
So my predecessor, Jackie Pierce, her church has community outreach center, and they do a lot of that. They go on the ground, they talk to people, sit with them, help them get their ID, help them get their paperwork, help them get signed up for services. So I think having them now on the west side, yeah, but it's called COC Community Outreach Center. So they're right next to the WCDC. So they're doing a lot of that work right now. So yeah, that'd be great.
Also, just for general information, the People's Self-Help Housing is working with some of the low-income buildings that are not run by the Housing Authority, and they take applications all the time. In the past, like 4 months, they've gotten 2 seniors into buildings here in town who we had recommend sign up for the new building in Santa Paula, but they didn't want to leave Ventura. And self-help housing worked with them to keep them here. So Jackie Pierce probably has a sheet of information. If not, maybe we can put together one. The city program though is new and they will do everything they can. And they work with the county. So the county has access to a lot more than any of us could begin to know all at once. And so this is the first frontline step to take. Okay.
Thank you for that. We'll be sure to share a lot of that information on our Facebook page. Definitely look forward to the pier reopening. I'm sure everyone is, I mean, just in time for summer, but better timing. As far as the Parks and Rec, I saw someone parasailing just outside here earlier. Maybe we can get that as like an activity. I don't know. Anyway, one can dream. Next up we have our treasurer's report with Treasurer ZERBES. Oh, traffic in the room.
Thank you. My name is Kay ZERBES. I am a resident. 67 years now. Okay. Oh, I just grabbed the wrong paper. Hang on. You don't want to know how much my coffee is and I don't have any. I had it sitting there and I grabbed the wrong one. Leave it to me. Well, that's not it either. Where did you go? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, leave it to somebody that knows how to do things right. He called me earlier today and had me write it down and then I grabbed the wrong paper. Yeah, we have 1,000. Let's see, where are we at? For the end of March, we have $1,773 and we still have cents because there's 48 cents in there. So, you know, that's pretty good. That means we have to learn how to use it though. But we do have a hat in case you want to give us a little extra. If anything else, we're paying the rent here. So thank you.
Thank you. Thought we'd add a little comedy there in between. Yeah, the pass the hat been a little volatile. I'm pretty sure in February it was closer to $100, $8 last month. You know, anything helps, any loose change you got. Up next, we have our GPAC report with Officer Freeman over here.
Howdy, everybody. So our last GPAC meeting, and again, I'll go over real quick. GPAC is the General Plan Advisory Committee. The city's working on a 25-year plan of where the city will be going in the next 25 years. So the GPAC is a citizens advisory group for what the city and the general plan team from the city brings out. So last March 18th, we met, and after a whole lot of reading and a presentation from the consultants, we broke into groups, and including a group of public audience members, so they got to have their input too. The goal was the meeting was about economic development. So the goal was to bring business and jobs to Ventura and come up with ideas how to do that. One thing that was brought up that one of the groups said to use the Westside vision for the city to focus on environmentally friendly businesses but not get rid of existing businesses. So they're listening to the Westside. Yay. A few of the ideas that were floated were be flexible and welcome to new businesses, nab businesses from other cities, and because this was a surprise to me, but 70% of Ventura's workforce travels outside the city. Now we have a lot of people come in, but we have 70%. So thought of the idea was, well, how about we bring the jobs and businesses to the workforce so we don't have to travel, and then they can't complain that the housing prices are too high to bring employees in, although it'll happen. Nurture diverse businesses, use the community college, improve, this is a big one, everybody went, improve the beachfront or beach or waterfront connection from the city to the beach and leverage the fairgrounds. So we all know we have what's been called the Great Wall of Ventura, the 101 freeway that separates the city from, you've heard it, from the beach. So not sure how we can make it easier to get to, but there were things like trolleys and the pedal rickshaw things and different things to help people get down there. Provide incentives for businesses to come, leverage the Channel Islands National Park location, look to other cities to see what they've done to provide for like pedestrian oriented areas like our downtown now. And a few others, but so for the GPAC, our next meeting will be April 16th, and we're going to focus on residential and neighborhood safety. I haven't seen any of the background information, or I'd be more than happy to share it with you. Also, our flags, our summer flags, we're still working on that. We got them all washed, thanks to Ola's Laundry, just down there. So they donated that. And also thanks to Kay, because she repaired a bunch of the damaged ones. So that'll save us a few bucks. We're still need to do a little bit of sorting to get a final check on how many we need, but currently we have 61 flags, but we have 76 light poles. So that tells you we're going to need to come up with a couple flags this year. Pardon? I don't know for sure, but what I've heard is the flags will be $25. We get a deal from the Flag and Knife. God, I don't know the name of the store, but it's a American Flag and Knife or something. It's on Main Street at Palm, and they get them to us for wholesale. So if you need knives, or you need flags, anything, go support them too. Support local businesses. And then lastly, the land use survey, the GPAC and the general plan has been working on this for 2 years. We got it done. The city council endorsed it, and now it is on planventura.com, and I believe that's the website. And there's a survey that gets down to basically the lot level, and you can go and give your opinion or point out anything that you think may be correct or incorrect, or what you like, what you don't like, give your opinion. So, and that's open till May 12th, I believe. Yeah. So I still have to do it, but that's it for me. Any questions? Nope.
Thank you, Pete. Yeah, as you mentioned, we have a couple sponsors, basically, Ola's, and it was American Flags and Cutlery. Just looked it up on maps right now, just to double check the name. So go and support our local businesses. Thank you, Pete, for serving on GPAC. I know it's been a long process, offering your voice and creativity for our future in our city. One thing that I forgot to mention, now that the hat has been passed around, can't forget our Zoom people. I did post a link, a PayPal link, if you'd like to donate and help with our recurring costs that we have monthly for Zoom. Next up, we have our open comment period. Very broad, if anyone wants to say anything. Okay.
We had our revite committee meeting, first one of this year, last Wednesday. And so we covered a number of things. So a number of people are really interested in gardening as a way of improving our community. Basically, the revite committee is longer form discussions about what can we do to make our neighborhood a better place to live. And so gardening came up, and so we went over some of the resources that we have available now, and how to access those and so on. So we heard earlier about some of the park department classes. There's some gardening classes. I'll be, I think, teaching one of those, and there's the Pollinator Palooza coming up. And we're also doing a class on pollinators on the week before that. Those are coming up in May. And that there's a number of places where people can do community-based gardening, the senior center, the school district garden, the community gardens. There's some at what is it called? West Park and West View. Is that it? Oh, here we go. West View and West Park. There's some gardening plots, and we can explore how to encourage people to use those. And as far as activities goes, there's Dr. David White is doing some interesting things with the local school district in collaboration with Once Upon a Watershed and the this food group in Ojai. And he does some training with the moniker of the Dirt Doctor. Then Mary Moranville does training of fourth grade kids over in Somas at Petty Ranch. And they were doing some really interesting work. Then Ventura Parks Department has classes. Then there's community gardens in the area. On the west side, we've got the Kids Garden Brigade right north of the senior center there. Don't know what the activity level is. Then there's a crop swap. You can find that on Facebook at 805 Crop Swap. You take your veg, pots, whatever you want to get rid of, take it there, set it down, and pick up whatever vegetables, fruits, starts, that people have brought. It's a wonderful way to share the excess produce from your garden, or go and pick up, some more plants and seeds and that sort of thing. Then there's a really, really free market. Those are held quarterly right here in Kellogg Park. And so come out for that. You can get the schedule from Facebook, Ventura, really, really free market. And then on my company's website, the Ventura Growing Circles put together a list of resources, and that's at rinconvitova.com, local food Ventura. Oh yeah, there's other Facebook pages, the Kentucky Chicken and Growing Circles Gardening. And there's some number of people are concerned about the McDonald's coming in at Ventura Avenue and Stanley. And so we decided that we would encourage people to voice their opinions at the next city council meeting coming up Tuesday, is it? On Tuesday. And so the board of the Westside Community Council takes no position on this, but we want to make sure that your opinion is heard. So if you want McDonald's there, if you don't want a McDonald's there, go to Ventura City Council in open session. I think you need to be there at 5 p.m. To sign in, and they've got some ceremonies and such they do beforehand, so it might be 5:30, closer to 6 when you get around to speak. But it's on the first meeting, it's the public comment period is before the main business meeting, so you don't have to sit around listen to all this other stuff before you get to say your piece. So encourage the city council to look at this and to calendarize that, the issue on their schedule so they can talk about it in their meetings. So there's some concerns about the change in the character and the culture of our community. We are here in the taco district, as Gerardo likes to remind us. And so we should celebrate that and focus on local businesses that are purchasing from local vendors and serving our community. Then another item brought up is we need more doers. And so we need a list of network of doers. And so I have a sign up sheet. So if you're interested in volunteering, you can put your name on this and volunteer for what? Here is a great list of all the different kinds of activities that you can do to support our organization and our community. So there's admin work, there's welcome team, onboarding, there's media volunteers. You like to Facebook, you can help us with that. Social media, TV and radio. We can do more with CAPS TV, the local cable access TV channel. Mobilization, volunteer for events. We get wonderful trash cleanup activities. And then community building, canvassing, all those sorts of things. So that's on the behind the sign up sheet here. There's a pen here. So we are the community. The more that you help, the better, the stronger it is. Appreciate your time. You want to talk more about all kinds of fun things we can do, come to the next Revite community. Revite committee, it's April 14th, is it? April 24th, there you go. At WCDC, Westside Community Development Corporation over on Olive. Thanks much.
Any questions for Ron? Oh. Hold it. For the people on Zoom, you got it.
The community garden that you missed that has a couple spaces still is at Kellogg Park. It's adjacent to the park, but there is a community garden there and there are a couple spaces available there.
That's an excellent suggestion. Thank you.
Thanks so much for mentioning our city council meetings. For folks that can't make it on the day of, but would still like to submit a comment, you can do so via email. If you can't make it, you can do it on Monday night. On our website, you can go in and sign in and you can submit a comment. So if you don't want to go in, if you don't have the time or the bandwidth, you can always submit a comment beforehand.
And you can go on virtually also, yes?
Correct.
Okay, so you sit there in your underwear at home in front of your computer screen and join the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, thank you very much, Ron. I'll be sure to add a Revite committee as a standing report now that we're bringing that back. Very excited to have that back. I see a lot of great things coming out of that. I'm glad that grateful for Ron to be spearheading that. Yeah, that deserves some applause for sure. And yeah, of course, attending city council meetings. Yep, like you said, first of the month, open comment at the beginning of the meeting instead of waiting for the end. And yep. Any other open comments? Nope. Good. Okay.
Thank you. I don't. Back to you. So Pete, sorry I'm late on this, but donations for the flags, are you guys collecting them? How's that working? What's the timing? You can count me in for a flag.
That's a great question and I don't know.
Okay, keep us posted, hit me and I'll hit.
Yeah, we got to
Okay.
figure it out. We just been working is to get them washed and get them sorted and stuff and figure out how many we need. And then we'll go from there. I'm also going to talk to Jim Duran, Councilmember Duran from the city, because the city is doing Thompson and Main Street now. So we may be able to get help from them. So
Oh,
currently, I'm not sure.
okay. Are you taking donations tonight? $25 a flag if people want to give cash to you, or how's that working?
I know where you live, so I can come get money from you
Perfect.
if you want. I will be in touch. Once we know more, we can put it on the website and Facebook and, do all that stuff.
I know, just for everybody, if anybody's tracking, they usually go up around Flag Day, around June
End of
14th.
May, yeah,
Yeah.
Memorial Day to Labor Day.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thanks so much for that.
Also, the owner of American Flag and Knife is a new owner. He bought the business about 9 or 10 months ago, but he's all in on the flags with us, and he's a very kind person. Anything you need, please give him your business.
Yeah, he's right
Yeah.
there, right at Palm and Main, on Main, right.
Right
across
next to
street.
Cajun Kitchen.
Correct, yeah.
Now I'm getting hungry hearing Cajun Kitchen. I don't know. All right. Any other comments, questions? Feel free to make our board members walk back and forth, and we got to get their exercise somehow. All right. Old business, we just send this reminder every month. We have city service request information. We used to have it all listed on the agenda, kind of try to condense that a bit. We have a lot of numbers listed on our website, graffiti hotline, outages if you have like a streetlight outage, how to contact Edison, et cetera. The one we left on here, popular one, the pothole hotline. If you see a pothole, go ahead and call that in. And yeah, so now we have our presentations. I do not see Mr. Forsythe on Zoom, so we'll go ahead and skip and come back to him. I know he's enjoying a nice vacation right now on spring break, so no worries there. Well deserved. We'll move right along to the new mural on North Ventura Avenue, presented by KENDRA Gonzalez.
Hello. Hi, I'm just going to introduce myself. I'm KENDRA Gonzalez. I'm the ED for the Westside Community Development Corporation. And I'm also here with
Jerry Dietz with Era Energy. We're working with KENDRA, and like you just mentioned, the Westside Community Development Corporation.
as well as MB.
And MB. We're pretty excited. The old water tanks down at the end just before the Pepsi plant. You may notice they are now blue. You may have driven by them forever and not noticed them, but we're going to work with MB. She's a local artist. As you can see, we're pretty excited. Look over here on the board, the drawings that she's going to be painting on those tanks for the city, all the way around 360, both tanks. It's pretty exciting. I mean, all of us are a kid, and who doesn't like dinosaurs? It's going to be pretty cool. And then that's phase 1. And then a phase 2, KENDRA will.
Yeah, do you want to do the next slide really quick? Helen, thanks. So yeah, these are the water tanks. They're past Shell Road, so it's outside of the city limits. And then that was them before, and they started priming them. They're blue now. You'll see the picture over there. But we're really excited about this partnership because ERA has been a big donor to the WCDC. They're pretty much our only donor for Adopt a Block, which is our monthly cleanup event. So they're really giving back to their community a lot. And I'm just happy to see that everyone's going to actually see it now. And I think your kids, your grandkids are going to want to drive by these water tanks because they're going to be amazing, done by MB. That's a picture of us at the site. Want to do the next slide, please? Yeah.
There's one completed.
But they're both completed now with the
Yeah.
prime, so we're super excited. Next,
Getting
and then
ready.
our second phase of our partnership is going to be with our Avenue Aerosol Art Program, which helps disenfranchised teens on the west side. They get to learn aerosol art, and hopefully they'll create like a career pathway from that, either in painting or some kind of arts. But it's great because it's a, you know, a Monday, Friday night class. These kids are doing something productive. This leads to other things. So we're really excited. And they're going to be painting, what is it called again? What is it called? The spill.
Just some splash shields. We
Splash
have
shields.
shields all over the place. We're gonna put them on our property on different places where the
And you'll be able to
public
see
can
it from
see
the
all
bike
the
trail.
art. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be able to see it from the bike trail. So it's really cool. Next one, please.
So yeah, we're excited about it. Those tanks have been there forever, so go by and see them here pretty soon. You can see them be at work.
Yeah.
And kind of like Officer Uribe, my boss, Aaron Lerner, was supposed to be here, but he got hung up in Bakersfield, so here I am.
MB, did you want to say anything about the art and kind of your inspiration?
There you go.
First off, I want to say, thanks for being here. I know it's spring break and, tell people, because people are going to be wondering what's going on. So each one, you know, to each one, I want to say thank you. It's, the work has started, because the designs have been started and, as someone who lives right down the street from those tanks. I am just personally extremely excited about doing something and bringing some public artwork up the avenue to that part of it's barely our city there, but it is, you know, we all know it is, right? In our hearts. So, thank you again. And I don't take it lightly. I'm going to be working myself off, and please take pictures and post them while we're doing this. You may have seen me on my phone during almost this whole entire meeting. I was posting to social media about this meeting so that people would be shamed into coming and participating in their neighborhood. I wasn't just goofing off. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we lost power there for a second. Thank you very much for that presentation. I know obviously the word does not just stop getting spread here. We have to keep, as MB said, just tell your friends, tell your neighbors. For those that don't drive up that far along the avenue that often, just tell them to go check it out. I'm sure people that do drive that every day, one day just gonna be like, whoa, that pops out. Even just the blue primer might just pop out to them now and be like, what's happening there, right? But it's something that I think our community will be proud of for sure. So thank you for putting that there. And I'm sure it'll be added to WCDC has a mural map. So maybe once this is finished, share that mural map, and then you can go all along the avenue and find out where all the murals are at. All right. Next up, we have our very own Helen ELOYAN doing a presentation, having an update on her WINS program and her Westside Innovative Solutions Grassroots Housing. So everyone give a hand for Helen.
Thank you very much, Chair Cuevas, the rest of my board, for letting me present today. I know there was a cancellation, but I'm still honored to be here. And I'm very glad for everybody who showed up today. I'm going to be relying on each one of you to be messengers because I know that this is a program that I direct, but this is a very important topic, not just for me, but our whole community in the city at large. So to reintroduce myself, my name is Helen ELOYAN. I am the program director for the WINS program at the Westside Community Development Corporation. And what does the WINS program stand for? My boss will tell you it's Westside Innovative Housing Solutions, but I say innovative solutions, that's it. So today we'll be focusing on the grassroots housing aspect of what we're doing. And I think I'm trying to be creative here. I am a nerd, so bear with me. Okay, next slide, thank you. So I was going to give some background about how we need housing, how affordable housing, how it's tough for young people like myself to be able to afford to live in here. But I thought rather than just feed you all a bunch of statistics. I could eloquently quote a professional about this. So the housing affordability rate also positions Ventura County as the single most unaffordable metropolitan area in the entire country. Less affordable even than the Los Angeles and San Diego metro areas, according to the National Association of Realtors. This is not a good thing to be number one in, guys. We're number one, but we're number one. It's sad. So that is from CLU, from the Center for Economic Research and Forecasting. You guys may know them. They think it's a biannual report. They put out forecasting Ventura. For the last decade, it's been pretty pessimistic. We have stagnant economic growth, which is not great, an aging population, growing housing costs. I will just stop there because the list goes on. So next slide. Okay, so the Westside environment, we are housing burden. So the definition of that, you basically spend a larger proportion of your income on housing. Rather than a sustainable level of 33% of your income, a housing burden individual is maybe spending 50% of your income. I know I probably spend about 50% on housing. So the inability to afford things that are necessities in lieu of, because you have to actually pay that increase in rent, that is the burden itself that we, as a community, we carry. So you'll see the west side is a little more severe than the eastern part of the avenue, but we're all pretty, I mean, if you go to the Cal Enviro screen map, we are housing burden. This is it. Next slide. So social implications of unaffordable housing. And I've lived this, I know this, and not a lot of people will stand in front of you and say, these are decisions, but at times I'm like, oh, my side hurts. Should I call an ambulance? But then that's $500. That takes money away from my grocery budget. I'll just wait and see if I live to see tomorrow. Those are the types of decisions that have to be made. And I'm making jokes about it, but it is very serious. I mean, could you imagine if you have kids, your kids making that decision? I know my dad signed on, but Dad, don't just close your ears for this part. It is a very sad truth of living in California, and there's really not a lot of relief. If you make too much money to qualify for government support when it comes to food stamps, you know, you're kind of left with little choices other than running to the food pantry. So things that could be foregone. So healthcare, go to a doctor, reduce eating to save money for rent. If you are already living in a place where you have cheap rent, maybe your hot water stops working, you are okay living in that circumstance for a little bit longer. You forgo fixing the mold in your apartment. You live with pests. You're living in unsanitary conditions because you don't want to lose your affordable rent. These are the realities of the situation that my generation is living with, quite frankly. So obviously this is extremely stressful. There's mental health impacts, not even considering the environmental consequences of living in substandard conditions. So enough of that. Next slide, thank you. So grassroots housing and ADU one-stop shop. What are we doing here? What am I doing at WCDC? So for the past couple of years, I've been working very hard to put together pre-reviewed ADU designs. So basically, hit the next slide. So basically, what are ADUs? I'm sure you guys know, but another word for them is granny flats, accessory dwelling units. You have a house, there's a smaller house, either detached or adjoining to that dwelling unit. Those are called junior dwelling units. These are just kind of like examples of dwelling units that are online. They look very nice. Next slide. These are our housing element objectives for ADUs. So I just want to inconspicuously point out, a lot of these are targeting 2023 and it is not 2023 anymore. And I can tell you, we have not met 11.2, 11.4, maybe, 11.5 is probably moot at this point. So we are working very hard to help. I mean, we are not going to meet these timelines, but we're working very hard to meet this year's deadlines. So that's just kind of an FYI about the legal requirements that the city has to meet these goals for ADUs. And then next slide, please. So what is actually our program? So basically, if you can envision from the customer perspective, you will be interested in going to develop an ADU. You'll visit your city's website. You'll be able to move into a catalog to select designs that have already been run through the permit process. So they've already been reviewed by Building and Safety. It's been signed off on. You don't have to hire an architect. You don't have to hire an engineer, structural, plumbing, mechanical, whatever. These babies are basically ready to go. And then at that point, you would notify the Permit Services Department. They would do a sweet little check, make sure you're not in a very high fire severity zone, make sure there's nothing subsurface that would cause the project not to happen. And then once you get the green light to move forward, you would pull the drawings, you would move towards a resource directory that would point you to qualified professionals that we have vetted through an RFP process so that you don't bump into a contractor who takes the money and runs, or you don't have someone working on your project that doesn't know when to call for inspections, and then you have to tear down the walls and redo all the work you just did, because that in itself will inflate costs exponentially. So at that point, we also have lenders who are local, who are ready to help, architects, if maybe you do need to tweak a design, if you're interested in a garage conversion, and that's something that you can pivot to easily from our standardized designs, that would be an option for you. Others, other qualified professionals like myself as a planner, I'm willing to project manage for those only offering affordable rents, okay? I'm not gonna, the free help only comes for affordable rent, not market rate. Sorry, guys. So then the next step would be construct the ADU. Oh, go back one more slide, sorry. Other way. Wrong button. Other, yes. Oh, okay, thank you. So no worries. Okay, so then once the unit is built, we're then going to have a network of partners who can help you as a new landlord, or it can help you as a tenant if you're running into issues. So we're going to have a village ready to help these affordable housing projects through, basically. So free assistance, like I said, for those offering affordable rent. And some of you may ask, Helen, where's the stick? How do you ensure these people are providing for your affordable rents? And I will say, you know, we're really hoping that people go through this program and they have like good intentions, and we're not really seeing the results we want as a community with the high density. I know I've heard that. However, if we could find 5,000 property owners who are willing to provide affordable rent for our community members, those are arena numbers. You know, we just need to, if we can get property owners to committing to affordable rents, that will really help our arena numbers, because right now the city is going to say the same thing. We don't want to count ADUs because we can't assure they're going to be offered at that income level. Okay, so let's work with the city to take care of that, because we can take care of each other. And this is actually saying, yes, in my backyard, you would have become a YIMBY at that point. So they can't even call you a NIMBY anymore. Okay, go ahead, next slide. Thank you. So the core of this program is really tackling the soft costs. So a lot of the things I can't sweet talk our way around, like the labor, material costs, those things are kind of stuck in place. But permit fees, anything like the architectural designs, all that, we've done some math and we've calculated about $160,000 this program could save a property owner who's interested in going through the process. That's not the whole thing, but that's a decent chunk of change that you'll be saving. And I did want to know, we are on last week on the 26th, I believe, our so I have to look at this, the CDBG grants. They're coming back up for reallocation. So we are actually requesting an increase in funding. So there's a public comment period that's open for 30 days. I think it's going to end April 25th. So a lot of the money, in addition, that we're requesting is to pay for the permit fees to actually plan check these drawings on behalf of the city, and also pay professionals who don't necessarily like offer their services for free, quite frankly, like the engineers and the people who have more specialized building trades, so that they can fully button up these drawings so we can head them into building and safety. And I don't know if you guys are familiar, but you could go like 6 rounds back and forth with the building and safety department before you get any plans approved. So we're going to take on that process and all the fees associated with it. And that's part of the extra money that we're requesting from the city. We don't know if we're going to get it, but we're preparing to fundraise in other ways to cover the shortfall. But it would be great if the city could at least waive their fees, city people, if you're listening on YouTube in the future. Council member. So yeah, so this is going to be kind of a living program. I'm going to show you. Okay, go ahead and hit the next slide, Kendra. Thank you. So the drawings themselves, this is actually an example, and this is my favorite drawing. I hope it gets produced. Okay. Ignore that I said that, students listening. So we've been partnering with Ventura College architectural students to work on this like yearly class project because they have to do a residential project. So these are new students to the program, and we've challenged them to come up with drawings that work for people. All the drawings have to be ADA accessible. They have to be able to be like modulated in some way or inverted floor plans. This is kind of hard to see, but this is actually a pretty good example of a catalog. You have a floor plan with 1-bedroom option or a studio. It can be flipped. Everything's ADA accessible. It uses passive cooling as a sustainability measure. So you don't actually need AC. Just, we're leveraging physics here to get the hot air pushed up and out. And then there's also like a little greenhouse that she had put, I can't reach it, up there, wrapping around the corner because a lot of folks, like Ron said, one of our board members said earlier, love to garden. So kind of like a little backyard in your backyard, so to speak. And then we have renderings here, but you can see there's a modern, there's a bungalow, Spanish style, kind of options available. So if this was, we're naming them all after the students. So this would be the Alita ADU. You would say I would want like the Alita ADU in the modern design, or you could say, Alita ADU with the Spanish design, whatever. So it'll have that like level of flexibility, but it also, have like split floor plans. So maybe let's go to the next slide because hopefully there's some examples there. So what you'll see is a lot of these units, I'm going to crawl over this way. A lot of these units, when the students are creating them, we actually have architects that come with us to critique them. So we'll say, hey, you have a living condition here. That's not exactly like a good idea. Maybe you'll want to move the kitchen over, let's say, not facing the primary dwelling unit. Or we'll say, hey, this floor plan, if you put the second bedroom right next to the main bedroom, that would be a really good design for a single parent with a smaller child that wants to keep the kid close. It could also work really well for students or young professionals who are living. So let's say there would be a bedroom here and there would be a bedroom on the other sides for privacy. So at least you feel like you have your own space. So we're really working with the college students to give a diversity of designs that would work for different people. So not just people with disabilities, but like young urban professionals, people who like to party, people who like to, who live with their family. Like I said, single parents. So, and if there's any gaps that you guys see, please let me know because I'm trying to make this as inclusive as I can. It takes a village to plan these things as well. So, all right, next slide. Thank you. So the benefits of developing affordable housing. I don't think I have to convince you guys too much, but affordable housing helps the people climb the home ownership ladder. So this will help folks get into a position where they're maybe able to afford a down payment for a house. In addition, it is in itself an economic development strategy. What business would want to come to our city if their workers can't live there? I mean, I know that 70% of our workforce leaves, but that's not very good for the environment because we don't have all electric cars so far. So we really, if we can do our best to keep people here, employed here, housed here, that's probably one of the more sustainable things we could be doing. So that's a benefit. There's also increased property values, passive income potential from the residents, and it is a lower density solution for, I know, the very many people in the community who are not a fan of the apartment style and do want to add some density to our neighborhoods. I know especially for the Westside, we do have concerns about ingress and egress. And the great part of this ADU program, I know like the west side is the beneficiary area, but this is going to go for the whole city. Like these drawings, once they're approved, the whole city will be able to use them. So I don't see borders. I'm sure the staff is frustrated that I don't like to stop my work at the boundaries, but whatever. This is my program. I direct it. Next slide. So where are we now? So we built a coalition, still building it. We're coordinating with the city. We're now fundraising because we've gotten the plans to a point where they need other professionals to help out. We're begging the city for more money, but as soon as that process is done, we've paid the fees and the professionals, they've been plan checked. We're going to need to start building some ADUs. So we're going to need to identify some properties. We need people to go through the process. Let me know all the feedback. I want to hear good, bad, and ugly, because we need to make this thing work and it needs to work smoothly. So, okay, so that's the ADU grassroots ADU program. This is now a side quest that I'm rolling into the Westside Innovative Solutions program. So going forward, we are setting up some pretty good relationships with Cal Poly students to do mentorships or internships, I should say. So I'm going to be doing a call for policy considerations and regularly, maybe on a yearly basis, sending them to city staff. Go ahead and hit the next slide. So what we're willing to do for staff is conduct research, do surveys, collaborate with the community members on their ideas and strategies for affordable housing. Then we're going to compile the recommendations that we've received, have our interns do the research, and then we're going to put it together into a formal policy recommendation document and just basically transmit that to city staff as a grassroots solution to what we perceive as the affordable crisis. So what we would need from the community is basically your ideas. So I've been stopped in the street just the other day. Someone said, hey, how come we don't do any housing trust kind of things in the city? You know, other people are saying, why isn't Habitat getting involved? These are all things that I have been collecting, but have not had time to research. So now that we have college students who are very excited about the work that we're doing and want to be involved, we're going to leverage them and their research abilities to help us put together this annual report for the city. So a lot of the feedback that I get from the city when I do kind of like pitch these ideas is, okay, that sounds good, but like, is there a need? Is it politically viable? Like, show me your receipts. Where is the evidence? So right now I don't have any. So we will get some. We will get some and we will back up these really good ideas that the community members have. So that's kind of my call. These are some funny cartoons that I saw. That sums up how I feel about that. Next slide. So this is like another potential policy consideration. A lot of people have said, hey, I think it's unfair that I can't have a junior ADU, or I can have a junior ADU, but not a detached ADU in the very high fire severity zones. And mind you, this actually crosses over the avenue at some points. So a large number of our community members can't actually participate in the ADU program because they're in a very high fire severity zone. But if the ADU was attached to the primary dwelling unit, it would be considered a junior dwelling unit and it would be okay. So it's rules like that where people come to me and say, it doesn't make sense. And I agree. So I would like to bring the receipts for this. So is this something we can revisit with the fire department? Potential policy consideration. Next one. So ADU amnesty program. There's been demonstrated that there's a need just from me announcing that I was going to restart this process. A lot of people have come up to me and said that they were expressing interest in this. There were concerns about privacy and some barriers that kept the people from participating previously. As you can see here, dear undocumented second dwelling unit owner, that's kind of hostile. So there's a lot of other things in there, like if you sign this form, you consent to us coming onto your property, stuff like that, that really like stop people from participating in a really good program. But like the goal of this kind of thing is to make sure that the dwelling units that were built illegally without the benefit of a permit don't have a life safety hazard going on. So like electrical fire risk. We want to identify those properties and make sure they are checked over for those kinds of issues, and then given a clean bill of health so that individual can continue enjoying that passive income if that's something that they're benefiting from. So just taking care of the existing housing. This is our suggestion to address the ADUs that are on the west side that fall into very high fire severity until we can get the other ordinance issue sorted out. Next one. So short-term vacation rentals, that's already something that's kind of been percolating. It's been stops and starts with the city a little bit. Is that something that we need to look at for the west side and have a more kind of focused approach for? There's like, I just did a random search on Airbnb. There was about 100 places in Ventura. I'm not sure if they're hidden on other websites or what, but if this is a problem for the west side, which I believe I've heard from community members, let's talk about it and let's figure out a way that where we could strike a balance with this. Next one. Okay, so other policy considerations. Like I said, this is just a sample of kind of issues that have come up, like especially during office hours last year, when I would be at the WCDC office for a couple hours every week. Folks would come in and just kind of feed me these policy recommendations. So I want to let you guys know, if you're listening in the future on YouTube, I've listened, I've captured them all. They're here now. And I look forward to anyone who's interested participating in this collaborative effort to like solve our housing crisis in our city. Next one. So this is just kind of like my SWOT analysis. I wanted to show you full transparency, the resources that I have. Last year, I'm looking at my other boss right now. Kendra, what was the budget for my program? $10,000 or something like that?
Yes, it was
Okay.
$10,000.
$10,000 to do an ADU program and a trade school program, folks. I've been very frugal with and leveraging all the social capital I have. So you can't say I'm not trying. So we have block grant funding from the federal government, a lot of professional networks, a lot of volunteers. Weakness is lack of desktop support. I have been a one-woman show. Kendra's been helping a lot as well, but there is a lot of stuff that she's really busy with, and I can't necessarily steal her as much as I need to. There's a need for additional interns. We have 1 or 2 for the summer. We really could use help year round. So if there's young people that I'm credentialed to teach up to a master's level for public policy administration. I'm also a certified planner. So I'm like ready to give anyone experience basically at this point. Opportunities, Cal Poly annual mentorship program ongoing, the annual ADU design with the Ventura College, and then threats, lack of political support or a complicated admin process. I have nightmares about this, that someone's going to get, something's going to happen. You never know on social media, something's going to get miscommunicated, or death by 1,000 cuts with the administrative process. And if anyone's ever built anything in Ventura, I think you can empathize with me a little bit on that one. But all that to say is I'm very optimistic. I've been like very pleased and honored by all the professionals who have been chipping in and quite frankly donating their professional services for free. We have like 3 architectural firms, and that's our R&T Architects and Central Coast ADU, who have been just straight up providing free architectural services and support for their students. So it's like out of the generosity of our local businesses that we're even able to get this far. And then shout out to Curtis Cormain from Ventura College for hosting me once a year, taking over his class first term, and letting me roast his students' designs. And so the last thing that I kind of want to leave you with as a call to action is on the 26th, they did open up that comment period for 30 days for our budget request. So if you are interested in supporting us, you can email Lee Sherman your comments before April 25th. Council was pretty open. Councilmember Mike Johnson said some really, really nice things about our efforts at WCDC. But ultimately, staff said if they have to see it in the public comments before they can really accommodate our budget requests. And there are a lot of like factors that come into it. The allocation may not be as much as it was last year. So we just basically need all the support we can get. And I would be honored if you guys could help our program. And if you believe in the work that I'm doing and the work that we're doing for the community, you know, please consider giving a public comment to Lee. Or, oh wait, sorry, one more. We are also trying to see if we could get speakers on a regular basis to just show up and talk about like the need for affordable housing and low density solutions like ADUs and the amnesty program and these other policy considerations. I realize, you know, I'm asking folks to give public comments on the things I'm working on, but if it's something that you really feel is a good idea, go to the first meeting of the month and give a public comment, because those are all things and data points that I'm going to track, that staff is going to track. Council certainly listens whenever someone shows up and gives a public comment. So we need the solutions to stick. And if you believe in any of them, I ask that you raise your voice in support of them. Okay, next one. All right, I'll switch with Kendra now. This is just a little bit of info on the resources that we have. We have a lot of walk-ins come into WCDC as well.
Okay, hi. So there's some housing right resources. People need any information. They can also come to the WCDC. We have all this paperwork as well. So California Rural Legal Assistance. They are a nonprofit law firm that provides free legal aid, and they're going to be in our office. It's going to be held Friday, May 10th at 5:30. They'll be offering expungements, reentry services, as well as hosting a housing rights information workshop kind of a deal. So it'll be really great. We had one last year and we had a really good turnout. I think there was like 20 or 30 people that came and got free legal services. So that was great. And then also CAUSE, they're an organization committed to like social, economic justice, environmental justice for immigrant and low income communities on the Central Coast. So they have a lot of information. And then also we have the Housing Rights Center, which is like the nation's largest nonprofit for housing organization. And they have a hotline if you go to their website. So if anyone needs help with that, and we have information as well. Next slide, Marco, please. And then home ownership resources. So there's Ventura County Community Development Corporation. They help people and families that are ready to achieve and maintain home ownership. They have a lot of workshops. If you follow them on Instagram or their website, I think they have the one every month. So it's a really good place to get some resources for that. And then we have a local people, American Pacific Mortgage. They're mortgage lenders, loan officers, excuse me. And they're having a workshop, I believe, on the 17th about reverse mortgages. They're constantly doing different kinds of workshops in their office, and they're just really great people. They also run a nonprofit that helps garner volunteers for any kind of organization that needs help. So it's cool. And then lastly, but not least, is Habitat for Humanity. They help people get homes through what they call, there's a couple different ways, but sweat equity, where you help build your home or you volunteer. I know they don't have anything on the west side, which is a dream of theirs eventually to have Habitat Humanity come here. But there's talks about it. So that's the dream, but it'd be great if we could get that over here. And yeah, that's just a few topics. And then also we have our community survey to help with our future 2024-2025 programming. So if you live here or you're a stakeholder, it'd be great if you could just take the survey for us. I also have it posted on the back where Kay's standing. There's like a little tabling. If you could just, do QR code, that'd be amazing. And then, yeah, I think if there's any questions, Helen. Yeah, he's first.
I have a quick question for Helen. What is the price point difference for affordable housing? Like what percentage or what amount? How do you determine like, okay, that's affordable versus market rate to affordable? What's the difference?
Yeah, so we go off of like the SCAG numbers for the RENA. So they have thresholds for moderate, low, very low, extremely low, above moderate. I totally went in the wrong order. I believe they're getting updated to be more realistic because previously I believe moderate, as a single person, you would be moderate if you get $80,000 a year. So I was wondering, no one from American Pacific Mortgage is here. I can actually send you the breakdowns if you'd like. Our housing element also has kind of the different thresholds or buckets, so to speak. So it's all based off of a regional analysis.
Got it. So you're basing that out off of income.
It's based off of like average median income.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm in the process of doing an ADU,
Uh-huh.
and I was trying to figure out when you say affordable housing, like
Yeah.
what does that mean? I have to offer it at to make.
Yeah. So, and like I say like, it's a very gentle, we're not going to enforce it, like I said, but it is, if you should choose to offer it, we would provide the levels of what would qualify as that particular income, whether it's above moderate, low. And then, that's up to the property owner, basically. It's like whichever level you're comfortable with. Typically extremely low, which I remember from the old numbers was like 400 or less for a single person. Those types of units are typically associated with like supportive care or transitional living. So we wouldn't really expect homeowners to take on that very lower level. But the city will get credit for low and very low and moderate incomes that are served. So those are the kind of ones that we're looking for. I think a lot of the people on the west side fall into the low and very low categories. And then I can pull those numbers for you in the back as well.
Okay. Art Ludwig of Oasis Design up in Carpinteria has on his website, I think it's Oasis Designs, a fire safe ADU. It's made of clay. Clay doesn't burn. And so you can build an accessory dwelling unit in your yard that when a fire comes through the neighborhood, you can go inside of it and be safe and secure from the fire raging around you. And so if we're going to be building these ADUs here on the west side where we have houses close together and very high fire danger, then building ADUs that also serve as fire shelters, makes a lot of sense. There's some major challenges as far as permitting clay or cob structures, as they're called. The Quail Springs, a permaculture design group over in Cuyama, has been working with the county to do some trials and such on cob structures and demonstrating that they're very strong, very safe, fire resistant, and so on. And so developmentally, it's a kind of an uphill slog, but it's something that I think we need to all push for in our community to be able to have these extra or more living spaces that are pleasant to be in, and then also protect us when fire comes through.
Yeah, we also do have one student who's doing an alternative materials design. So that's funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah. Well, and then as far as health goes, the clay is really good as far as not outgassing anything. And so too many of our modern construction materials will outgas toxic vapors, from all the different plastics and phenolic glues and that sort of thing, formaldehyde glues in plywood and so on. And so building houses that improve people's health is very important.
Thank you. I don't know where that mic is. Oh, I think I gave that to you. Thank you. Whose mic is this? Any other questions? No? No one on Zoom? Okay, great. Thank you, guys.
I'm just gonna take this off. Gotta, anyway. Yes, thank you, Helen, for that. Look forward to seeing the progress that's made on that project. You've already put in so many hours into that. I will say on one of the slides for the different community resources, the California Rural Legal Assistance group is currently scheduled to come to WCC in June. So if you can't make the May 10th one at WCDC, they'll be here at our general meeting in June. We have no new business. Any announcements anyone might have that they might have missed in open comment?
A dear friend, Carol Vasecki, who was a big proponent of biointensive gardening, as taught by blank blank. Anyway, died recently, and there will be a memorial service for her 10 a.m. at St. Andrew's Church up in Ojai. So if you knew Carol Vasecki and would like to remember her, that service is available. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending our meeting. We'll be sure to share this link on our Facebook page and our website. So if you know anyone that missed this meeting, please let them know. They can watch all the different presentations. Unfortunately, James was unable to make it tonight, but we'll be sure to get him scheduled at a future meeting to provide an update for the Ventura Unified School District. Next month, our meeting is Wednesday, May 1st. Please, again, share, spread the word, get people to come out and attend. We have a lot of different topics next month that I think the community will be interested in, and we'll be sharing more details on that as we get closer to that date. Yep. Thank you very much. That will adjourn the meeting there.